Alright, hello everyone and welcome to WWE Discussion. I'm your host and WWE enthusiast Dougie Doug. In today's episode I'm going to be discussing Monday Night Raw, July 24th, 2023 edition. So on this episode of Monday Night Raw, the Judgment Day, they keep winning and they're continuing to take over Monday Night Raw with seemingly no one being able to step up to them. Damian Priest would pick up a win over Apollo Crews. Dominic Mysterio picking up a win over Sami Zayn. And then to close the show, the Judgment Day alongside Finn Balor laid out Seth Rollins ahead of SummerSlam. So the build to SummerSlam did not stop there. Cody Rhodes making another statement of intent. Drew McIntyre picking up a win over Kaiser. And also getting that match against Gunther at SummerSlam confirmed. Monday show did have a focus primarily on the Judgment Day, but it also ensured that the other big stories for SummerSlam got their shine as well. And with that, we'll go ahead and get right into the action, starting with Damian Priest. Is he the next World Heavyweight Champion? Now, Finn Balor is the one facing Seth Rollins at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship, and while this match should feel important, and it will be a good match based on previous matches between these two, ultimately you look at how the Prince has fared recently booking wise. He hasn't really been booked as a World Heavyweight Champion. He lost to Rollins in the championship tournament, and then again he lost that Money in the Bank on July 1st. So he's having a tough time right now trying to put it all together, even taking advantage of an injured Rollins. So meanwhile, WWE has created a beast in Damian Priest, which started when he won the Money in the Bank briefcase which started there, and he continues to deliver in big moments. He has this menacing aura about him that certainly makes him a threat to either title holder Rollins or Reigns. He also appears to be much closer to Ripley and Mysterio than Balor is, and the other champions, Ripley and Mysterio. That bond that they have of being title holders certainly has kind of strengthened a little bit more now, especially that Mysterio has gold. Granted, Priest doesn't have gold, but should he win gold, which he probably will, I don't know why he wouldn't, it would help strengthen that bond. Ultimately, title reigns don't last forever. Rollins is going to drop the title at some point, and he also said on an appearance on the Impulsive podcast that he certainly has some injuries that need to be addressed. So when the time comes for him to drop the title and take some time off and address those injuries, Damian Priest should be the guy to step in, take the title, cash in the briefcase. I think he could be a great world champion. And then continuing along with the Judgment Day, they've taken over this episode too. Dominic Mysterio on the NXT North American Championship. So with that win, with him winning the title and then his past two title defenses, the most recent one against Sami Zayn on Raw, it's helping to elevate the NXT. It did come at the expense of ending the most dominant reign in the history of the NXT North American Championship, and it might not have been the most impressive NXT North American title match. Mysterio has certainly made up for it by defending the title twice in the past week, first against Butch and second against Sami Zayn. And his work with Zayn on Raw is memorable as Dom controlled the action seemingly in this match. It was clear what it meant to both men to hold the belt. This story is going to bring fresh eyes to NXT. The WWE Universe is certainly going to want it. There's certainly an interest to see who's going to step up and to Dominic Mysterio and potentially take that title from him. It also helps having Rhea Ripley by his side, and apparently she's competing on Tuesday's edition of NXT against Lyra Valkyria, which is a certain, which should be a banger of a match right there. This may not be a long title reign, as it is quite difficult to work both brands, not speaking from experience, but I'd imagine it is difficult to work multiple brands every week, especially when one travels and the other one is stationary. I think Raw was in Tampa Bay, Florida, so I guess maybe not a whole lot of travel. I don't know how far it is from Tampa Bay to Orlando, but at the very least he's in the same state for this week. But give credit to Mysterio, he's making the most of the moment, and if momentum continues to build, it could bring some new fans to NXT. And then Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar match, is official for SummerSlam as of last week. I think everybody can agree that Cody Rhodes, he must win in SummerSlam and then move on. And Cody Rhodes continues to be the most over star on Raw, but overextending this feud with Brock Lesnar certainly hasn't done Rhodes any favors. Brock's a part-timer, he's barely on television, and when he is made appearances, he's just beaten down Rhodes repeatedly, no explanation why. All the way to the final match, the WWE Universe still has never learned why Lesnar went after Rhodes. The only thing fans have heard is repeated promos from Rhodes about why he needs to beat the Beast. Now, the matches between the two have been good, the promos have been solid. However, the story, it's getting stale. It's growing stale, and maybe this turns fans on Rhodes. I see it as unlikely. They're still committed to him, so I don't think that happens, but I think it's time to put an end to it all. Rhodes picking up the win, throw in whatever stipulation you need to make a memorable conclusion to this feud. Simply put, Rhodes can do so much more for Raw. His popularity and promos can elevate anyone, and the brand is certainly going to need some help bringing up some fresh bad guys like Bronson Reed, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Imperium, and none of that happens while Cody is stuck feuding with Brock Lesnar, and nothing Rhodes does in the near future will matter unless he can definitively beat the Beast. And then Drew McIntyre in the Intercontinental Championship. Should McIntyre be the one to dethrone Gunther, and if so, when does he do it? So since his return to WWE, McIntyre has been unstoppable. No one has physically challenged the ring general Gunther like the Scottish Warrior has. It feels right that McIntyre should dethrone the ring general. He can keep the legacy of the Intercontinental Championship growing, while Gunther can move on to an even greater prize. However, timing with title wins is pretty much everything. Gunther is set to Gunther can break the record for longest IC title reign on September 7th, which is just over a month from SummerSlam, and given the work he has put in as IC champion, the work he has done to elevate the belt, he's earned that accolade. He shouldn't have the longest title reign. The ring general, so for that reason, McIntyre shouldn't win at SummerSlam. However, you could book the match in a way and set up book the match in a way where Imperium gets a little bit over involved, and then it kind of gives not a very good cause for a rematch, but the cliche cause for a rematch. Oh, the result is interference and blah blah blah. But ultimately, I think book the match, Gunther wins, he gets the record, and then set up a title rematch at some point. Then McIntyre can take the title there. Gunther, even though he would be losing, it wouldn't be the worst thing. It wouldn't be the worst thing. He can rebound and move on to the world title scene. So, in conclusion, this was about an average episode of Raw, which, not to say that was a bad thing. A couple of decent matches, a few belts set up for SummerSlam. The card is already at 7 matches. I'd imagine, even though WWE's probably going to go over 7 matches, given how big SummerSlam is, and depending on how you view things, maybe a few laughs along the way. McIntyre and Kaiser stole the show. Zayn and Mysterio put on a contest that was better than expected going into it. The non-wrestling segments didn't really stand out that much, but they all accomplished something, whether it was booking a match or advancing a feud. SummerSlam is coming up. I think it's like a couple weeks out. Yeah, like a week from Saturday was their tagline or something. Yeah, it's almost here, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not. So it's good that WWE is committing. It's good that WWE has already confirmed a handful of matches to get fans excited for your show. And already looking at the card with the 7 matches on it, how could you not be excited for that show? I'm curious to see what the final number is going to be, what more they want to add. So we'll see how that one goes. And with that, we'll go on and wrap up this episode of WWE Discussion. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that like button down below.